time for Aki's A-List. From the mind of the man who understands the 4 Ps of Waddle's world. Aki's A-List. The top questions and topics floating around in Tyler Aki's mind.
Are these really the questions that I was called here to answer?
Aki's A-List on ESPN Chicago.
That's right. Tyler's got questions. We'll provide answers. What are your questions today, Tyler?
All right. We'll start with a little football here. And Aaron Schatz from Football Outsiders and ESPN put this article up today talking about projecting the rookie quarterbacks in this class. Now, this is largely done on the metric of total defensive adjusted yards above replacement per attempt.
What the hell does that mean?
It's kind of like
DVOA.
Yeah, it's kind of, it has to do a little bit with like war in baseball, but basically 0 is a replacement level player and 1.5 is indicative of a Hall of Fame career. They ran 50,000 simulations of all of these guys' careers, and Caleb Williams in 21% of those simulations was elite, which basically puts him in the Hall of Fame. Upper tier in 24%, adequate starter in 25%, and a bust in 29%. Now, 29% may seem pretty high for a lot of people out there, but to put it into context, number 2 on this list is Drake May. He's a bust in 49%, Jaden Daniels in 37%, J.J. McCarthy in 46%, Bo Nix in 54%, and Michael Penix in 68%.
Too many numbers for Waddle.
Like, what is this? Like,
so what's your question?
My question is, do these numbers mean anything to you?
I don't know what they are. Like, when you say that Caleb Williams is most likely to be that Hall of Fame caliber quarterback based on the simulations as him as a Bear, or is him?
It's him as a Bear, yeah.
Well, how do we know Drake? What would Drake May's performance?
It's going off of their consensus spot on the big board. So Drake May's consensus big board spot is 2nd. So he is
based
with Washington.
on being with Washington.
Yes.
So I mean, there is some subjectivity to it because Caleb Williams will have a better infrastructure than some of the other guys, right?
Yeah.
I got dizzy there for a second.
My eyes tell me that Caleb Williams has the best chance to be the better quarterback right now. Now, things always change. Just like Lamar Jackson's been the 2-time MVP. He was last of the first round. Josh Allen was more of the project coming out of his school, and he's a great quarterback.
I think 2 things are really important here. Talent, and I think there is a ton of talent there. And what he's walking into, the stability and the infrastructure of the situation, it points you towards good things. There's no guarantee, but it points you towards good things. So I'm not surprised that Caleb Williams in a Bears uniform is the most likely that projects to be the most positive marriage of all of this. I'm not surprised by that at all.
I'm telling you, the most convinced I ever was that a Bears quarterback was not going to fail was Cutler.
Yeah, so I agree with you.
He
was coming off of, what was it? How it was
4,600 yards
season
at the age of 26.
Coming out of a system where he had been tutored by one of the best.
Yes. Like, he just rocket arm, great athleticism.
Yeah.
What was he drafted? 11th overall out of Vanderbilt?
I think so.
Best yet to come.
I'm with you.
With a great defense now. Like, he was.
I will say this. From that experience, I've learned to kind of just be more patient in the evaluation process, not to get too high or too low, and maybe give it a little extra time, whether it's Mitch or Justin, to come to a really firm conclusion. I think that's what we've learned. But this is as optimistic as I've been since the Cutler situation.
I've learned from that to not make so many excuses for the player.
That is a very good point as well, because that player's entrusted with making everyone better. It's not just, hey, this is what I've raged against, and shame on me for not realizing this years ago. It's the job of the most important player on your roster to make most other people around him better, not the other way around. And hopefully it'll work in a hand-in-hand fashion. where this receiving core will help make Caleb Williams better. But there will come a point in time in his rookie season where it is incumbent upon Caleb Williams to make the guys in that offensive huddle better as well.
What were the segments that they rated? So where would Cutler finish here? What were the,
So
he wasn't a bust, so
Adequate starter, upper tier, or elite?
I think he was an
adequate.
adequate starter. He definitely wasn't an upper tier quarterback.
Nope.
And he wasn't elite.
The body of work was, there were moments, but the body of work would never have put him in anywhere other than what you just said.
All right, how about some baseball now?
By the way, I will say this as well. Those numbers, like you said, Tyler, they sound really low, but put it all into perspective. Like, what did you say? It was like a 21% chance that he would be elite?
About, 21%.
That's pretty high if
not-
you really look at it.
Basically, is saying 21%. He's going to the Hall of Fame.
Right. I mean, that's a very optimistic.
No one else has a higher
projection.
than 14%
Right.
chance.
Well-
So he's like a little over like 1.5% or
One more
1.5 times.
encouraging thing too. I know it's not exactly what you want to hear, but that has a 71% chance of him being at least adequate. You know, when you take all the other
Give me
percentages
above
into account.
adequate. So what's the percent chance of being
Upper tier or
Upper
better
tier
is
or-
45%.
okay? So I got a 50, like a 50-50
About 50,
chance.
yeah.
We shall see.
Some baseball now. The Chicago Cubs continue their road trip, and it's a daunting one, too. We saw the 3-game set with the Padres. You got 3 with the Mariners and then 3 with the Arizona Diamondbacks, the reigning NL champions. How many wins is a successful road trip for the Cubs, knowing that you already have 1?
Give me 3. Win 3 out of the last 6. Like they should have won 2 out of 3 in San Diego. That's the crappy part. They should have taken 2 out of 3. They blew the 8-0 game. You can't get that one back. If you can go 3-3 in the last 6, I'd take that. I'd love 4-2, but get me 3 out of the last 6, and I'm happy. And then you come back at 4-6, right?
4 and 5.
4 and 5. I'd be happy with a West Coast swing of 4 and 5 after blowing one of those games.
I mean, the Mariners and the D-backs aren't playing great baseball right now, but they're good teams. So I would say, yeah. I mean, 500 on a West Coast trip, especially when you're getting nothing from Hendricks and your best pitcher's on the sideline.
Right. You're down 2 starters.
Yeah.
You don't feel the need, like, maybe you got to chase 1 extra because you did blow that one against the Padres?
Well, like
I get it's early, but
you would love to get it, but it's already been lost. I mean, I always say go 500 on the road. So now looking at it in just a 6-game scope, go 3-3 here.
All right, the Kentucky Wildcats officially hired Mark Pope from BYU as their head coach. That means no Billy Donovan to Kentucky. Is this a good thing for the Bulls?
Yeah.
It's not good. It's not bad.
Yeah.
It's like Waddle. Yeah, it's what Waddle's saying. Like there's not, I don't know why it's good. I mean, it hasn't been good. It stems higher than Billy. I don't even know if Billy's a good NBA coach. We didn't see in Oklahoma City if he was a good coach. We haven't seen with the Bulls if he's a good coach. Like again, he is like he's just right now, in my opinion, he's an average NBA coach.
I am so apathetic right now about that entire situation, including I don't know who the F Billy is right now.
I know, but he hasn't done anything either to show you that he's
Absolutely.
a good coach. So it's not like it's been woe is Billy. Billy's had a chance to do some things too.
I don't believe that Billy has had a good or bad overall good or bad effect on this team.
Yeah.
I think this team is basically in cruise control as to who they are and what they're capable of.
Yeah.
Real quick, this one, Danny Zetterman brought this to our attention in the meeting earlier today. Allen Iverson had a statue unveiled of him at the Sixers practice facility today. Now, the statue is getting ridiculed because it looks more like a trophy as opposed to a statue because it is miniature in size. However, I ask you this, and that's standard for all of these guys that have their statues, like Barkley's out there. There's a bunch of players out
Like
there.
the NBA,
Dr. J.
The NBA in their Twitter handle showed you a line of all their statues. So it's not like Iverson got a small one compared to the others.
But I ask you this: why are we putting statues at practice facilities instead of the actual arenas?
It shouldn't be. It should be appreciated by the fans. Can the fans go to their practice facility?
Not sure.
To see the statues.
Can they?
Not to see practice.
I think so, because aren't they outside this? They're outside of the facility.
They are outside the facility.
Well, if you could go then fine.
But yes, it would make more sense outside of the arena.
Why are the statues miniature? I don't understand. And they should be at the arena. All statues should be at the arena.
Shouldn't all statues at minimum be life size?
I think so.
Otherwise, it's a sculpture or a trophy.
It's an art project.
If in fact a statue is not a statue unless it is actual size.
Are you like a
life size?
Like you're turning this into the planet argument? Like it's got to be this big to be considered a planet, like Pluto?
If that's what it takes.
It's a figurine then.
Yes, there you go. That's a better description of it. It's not a true statue if it's not life size. It's not a statue. Statues aren't small. Those are figurines. You're right. Get your act together.
I still feel bad for Scotty. He just got the face. Scotty, it just has the face inside. You have all the others. Michael's got the big statue outside.
Why'd they
Stan
do it that
Mikita's
way?
outside.
Why'd they do it that
Bobby
way?
Hull's outside. And then, like, Scotty just got the face.
What was the explanation?
I don't know. I don't know. And then, like, there are reasons why Scotty is bitter. Scotty just got the face. In the meantime, like, Jerry did build, like, statues for all the other White Sox players out in the outfield at Guaranteed Rate.
Are they life size?
I think so,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's a
Frank
statue.
and everybody, yeah.
I don't know how you can call a miniature sculpture a statue. It's not a statue.
Scotty just got the face.
Definition of a statue: a carved or cast figure of a person or animal, especially one that is
Life
life
size.
size or larger.
Thank you.
See?